Tell me a little bit about Consciously Funded. What do you do?
Yes, so Consciously Funded is a social justice media company, and we're really looking to recenter and elevate the wisdom and current voices of Black and Indigenous social impact leaders. So, throughout history, especially in social impact, the voice and work of Black and Indigenous people has just often been overlooked, lost, buried, and we often see this like white savior narrative, like we're coming in to save you kind of narrative. And so I just saw a lack of representation in the space, but I saw a lot of Black and Indigenous people on the ground doing the work in their community. And historically, like media was used heavily in the civil rights movement to make it successful. And media is kind of my sweet spot. And we'll talk a little bit, about my background. So I really wanted to use digital media technology to give these Black and Indigenous social entrepreneurs and impact investors a platform to really share their stories, promote their work, and then also realize equitable compensation, where we can bring these two groups together to really build the wealth and the assets in their own communities.
Very nice. So tell me about your background. So how did you end up in this position and doing this?
Yeah, so this is a lifelong journey for me. I honestly didn't think I would be going back in media and entertainment. So I'm an Atlanta native, and I grew up in poverty, but I have an older sister that's 16 years older than me, and that's significant because as a kid, I saw her go through corporate America.
Right.
And so I decided really, really early, like, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. I didn't really know what an entrepreneur was, but I just knew I wanted to have my own business and I didn't want to go to corporate America. But then also growing up in Atlanta, I grew up around educators and activists in the Atlanta University Center, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s alma mater is, Morehouse College. And we'll come to that. That's significant as well. So being around all of that growing up, I was heavily involved as a kid in sustainability initiatives. It just really fueled an early passion for me for justice and entrepreneurship. And so I ended up going to a historically Black college and university in Virginia called Hampton University, where Booker T. Washington is our prestigious alum. And also grew up in a musical family. So it's like all these things coming together. And I ended up changing my major in college to entrepreneurship. Hampton was one of the first HBCUs to have entrepreneurship as a major. And it just so happened that the chair of my department was a former venture capitalist. I had never heard that term before, but he taught us from that perspective. And so, long story short, when I moved back to the city, I ended up pursuing graduate education. I got hired at Clark Atlanta to build out their innovation lab, and people were asking me to do pitch competitions and things like that. And I'm still kind of working in media and entertainment. I was a DJ. I worked on a few award shows. So, these worlds are kind of colliding. And as I was working on my doctorate, I just really felt like to make a bigger impact, it would be best for me to be in higher ed and really work with our young people. So I transitioned completely to higher ed. Didn't think I was going to go back to media and entertainment. I ended up at Morehouse College. So that's what I said earlier. That was significant. Ended up at Morehouse College over student development in the business school. And while there, started a cohort of HBCU VC, which trains HBCU students to be venture capitalists.
Oh, nice.
So all these things, just kind of come in full circle. And so doing work in the community, working with students, meeting impact investors that were Black, because one of the things we did at HBCU VC, our students' first introductions to venture capital was people who look like them.
Yeah.
So I'm meeting these impact investors, but I'm also seeing these social entrepreneurs in the community doing the work and, just seeing this real lack of equity.
Right.
And understanding the role media has played in civil rights and justice, and helping people get their stories out. I just really wanted to be a solution to this false narrative. Research, I'm an academic, so research shows, that poverty and this systemic racism that we see, it costs our economy trillions of dollars a year. Trillions of dollars. And less than 1% of Black and Indigenous founders get funding. Less than 1% of venture capitalists are Black or Indigenous. And so I really wanted to be a solution to those disparities and really, like I said, bring these communities together to build their own community. So it's just interesting how it worked out that my real early life, in the AUC with at Morehouse College, at Clark Atlanta, in education and media, and now it's all kind of coming full circle.
Yeah.
So real short version.